We'll get started. Recording in progress.
All right, we're good.
Yes. Okay, so first time here at the Genuine Minute, we're having a quick discussion today about real estate commissions on the buy side, as if you are hiring an agent, as well as the lender side. Originally brought this idea to Chris Haleck here, who we have with us at American Mortgage. Hi, Chris. How are you?
What's up?
Chris is one of my longtime closest friends. He's also an amazing lender here in St. George and absolutely crushes it. And today I thought maybe we would have a conversation that's just kind of about real estate commissions. It's something that not really talked about too often, especially from other realtors. And we kind of wanted to debunk some myths, I guess. What would you say, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something that's not talked about a lot. And so, yeah, I think it's a great topic to answer people's questions, kind of put them at ease of things. I've had a lot of people through the years kind of when I reach out to them initially to meet with them to do a loan application, I always get the question, how much is this going to cost me?
Right.
Well, nothing.
Right. And most realtors, they're going to be like, this is going to cost you nothing because the sellers pay our commissions, which there is some truth to that, but mostly that is not the case. And so I felt like maybe having a conversation today where we're just going to talk about how it works. Obviously, I do real estate. I own the Genuine Group here in St. George. We're brokered by Real Broker, and we are a super tech efficient, highly efficient small team that just wants to help people and make genuine connections. Doing genuinely really good real estate. That's kind of the idea. And we partner with genuinely good lenders who know what's up. So today, let's talk about the commissions. So let's jump into that. I think it's important to say that if an agent tells you they are being paid by the sellers, there is some truth to that. It's not directly coming out of your pocket, but that is not the general case. Whenever you sign a buyer broker agreement with a real estate agent, you are going to be under contract with them. And in that buyer broker agreement, there will be a commission amount agreed to. And normally that agreement, the seller, pays that. They say, okay, well, it's 2.5% or 3%. But with the way the market is and the way that homes are priced, usually that commission is priced into the house. So that means that you are paying that commission. And if for some reason that listing agent or that seller comes and says, no, we're not going to do 3%, and you've signed an agreement with a buyer's agent that says you are paying them 3%, then you as a buyer, you're going to be at your expense having to make the difference up. That's how real estate agents are paid. And the good ones are going to tell you that. They're not going to cookie code it. This is, for me, this is my livelihood. This is my living. And so, this is how I pay my bills, is being a real estate professional and being really good at it, and being super transparent. And so for us to kind of beat around the bush and say, nah, you're not paying me nothing. You're not paying me nothing. That's not necessarily the truth. And so the truth is what you want to get at the end of the day.
Right.
At least I would think so. Right, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I'd want someone to be honest with me for
sure. So on your end, what does it look like then? So how does your commissions work? How does a lender get paid? How do lenders make money? Like, what makes it, give us a little background on how you get paid, why you get paid, and what your payment structure kind of looks like, so that buyers can understand going into this process, what it's going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way I make money, just like JD said, this is my livelihood too. This is how I make a living. I do have a family, kids, all of that, like most people do. So how I get paid is I get paid after the loan closes. And I get paid, based off of the loan amount, not the purchase price of the house. there's no difference in payment between the different type of loan programs, which is actually really good for me because, it really, there's an incentive there it doesn't really matter to me what loan program you go into. I really want to put you in the best loan
Right.
that
You're
works for
not
your
you're not
specific
necessarily
situation.
going to push somebody into a loan that's not going to be best for them because there's no
Correct.
difference.
Yeah, there's no difference there. It's the same regardless of what loan program and
Now, do lenders do that on purpose to combat like loan fraud and stuff like that?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we don't. There's the financial industry is very protected, and we want to maintain that on the mortgage side because this is going to be your biggest investment for your life. In most people's cases, your home is going to be your biggest purchase, your biggest investment
Right.
there, and yeah, we do not want to be incentivized to put you into bad loans. We want to put you in good loans that's going to set you up for success in the long run.
Right. So when you're looking at a good loan for somebody, what does that necessarily like look like? Like, how do you decide if this is going to be a good option or a good loan for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. And really for me, I think it's going to be, for me, what that means I mean, you and I we've worked together for a long time.
Yeah, we
We were
have.
taught, pretty much how to sell ethically.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's the truth. I was listening to a podcast today, and that is like our mentor at the time was like, be ethical, treat people how you want to be treated, and you should be able to sell the product because you're doing it ethically. And if you do it ethically, you're going to create those relationships and they'll come back to you.
Right. And everybody's goals are a little bit different, right? And so I do a lot of digging up front of, hey, what are your goals? What are you after? Is this going to be your forever house? Is it going to be a first house that you're going to build upon? How long do you plan to be in the house? All these things are going to factor into what loan product's going to be best for you. There's going to be pros and cons to every loan program. Don't let anybody tell you any different there. And really it's going to come down
in the back here. Sorry. She's just hanging out back there. Ignore her.
she needs a mortgage.
Yeah, she needs a mortgage. She doesn't pay rent.
And so all those things are going to factor in as far as the best loan scenario that's going to work for you, and it's my job to educate and to kind of peel back the curtain. A lot of the real estate industry has been so crazy over the last few years that everybody's out marketing, especially loan officers. You're going to see billboards, websites, social media posts, all of it. And a lot of it is confusing for people. I was, and just to point it out, like I was on Quicken's website yesterday and just kind of poking around, looking at their rates, and they do quote rates on their website, but there's this little button on the bottom that says disclaimer that's not open. You actually have to click it to show the fine print, and a lot of those billboards are going to have the fine print on there. And and frankly, it's meant to be confusing, right? And I don't run like that. I don't operate like that. And any really good loan officer that I've ever met doesn't run like that either. Very transparent. Transparency is the key. It's not my interest rate, it's your interest rate. I should be the one educating you and showing you based off of your goals. Here's the best loan option that I think is going to work best for you.
So say I've done my job. We've found a house. We've got it under contract. It's through underwriting. It's about to close. Everything's going good. How are you guys making money? How are lenders making money in this process? Like, what does that look like? What's your takeaway there?
Yeah. So how that works is after the loan closes is where I get paid. And really what happens is in our industry, a very large amount, 80-90% of all the mortgages out there get sold to Fannie and Freddie Mac, who are the government sponsored entities. These are the guys that package and bundle loans to be sold out on the market. And so once those loans are sold, that's when I get paid. After everything's closed, everything's done correctly.
Right.
And that's really,
is there a grace period after it closes that you get paid, or is it immediate?
So I get paid the month after.
Okay.
But there is a period of time where we have agreements with our investors that we sell to, that says, you do have to keep your mortgage for six payments roughly, 6-7 months usually, because you get to skip your first month after you close on a house, but
Right.
roughly 6 payments, just because we are telling these investors, hey, these are loans that are going to be long term. Most loans are going to be 30 years, 15 years, whatever. But yeah, if people are paying them off early, then unfortunately I do get dinged with a fine, and all of
Right.
that.
So on my end, when I close a deal, usually the commissions amount, obviously they're all over the place, right? But
Right.
usually they're in our market in St. George, we're 2.5% is what we're making, either on the buy side or the sell side. And then a lot of people, there's a misconception. You just make your 2.5% and you're making all this money off of me. Like that's crazy. Well, at least on my side, I have the 2.5%. Then I usually will have to pay at least 15% of that to a brokerage, unless you cap, which most brokerages have a cap. And then I have my marketing expenses. I have taxes. I have, what else? Other expenses do I have? I have admin expenses, office supplies. Like I'm my own business, right? So I have to supply
Right.
those. So put that in perspective. I just closed a house. I listed it. This was a full 3% listing. It sold for around 325. It was a 3% commission. I walked away, because I'm capped. I walked away with about 10,200 on the commission check. My brokerage has a stock option plan where 10% goes to stocks. They match it, which is really cool. Shout out Real Broker. If you're looking for a brokerage, let me know. And that's really cool. And then I have an admin fee of 225. And then I have taxes. So when it finally hit my account, I put $8,800 in my account, and then I took another 2,500, almost 3,000 out of that for taxes. And so I was left with, the what we say, the gross commission, right? Or is that my net? I always get those two confused.
That'll be net post tax.
Yeah, post tax. So my net commission of like $6,000. So at the end of the day, all the effort, all the marketing, everything I paid, I walked away with about $6,000. Now, is your guys' overhead the same? Do you have those same fees and the same admin stuff, or are you just making this solid percentage and then you're walking away from every deal?
No, there's definitely expenses to this. I don't make a salary. We're 100% commission,
Right,
just like
same
you.
here. Which
Um,
sub note, sorry, Chris.
you're good.
That is a good thing because, and let me explain this to everybody. If you're working with somebody that's 100% commission, we are 100% involved, right? We want to
Right.
get this to the finish line just as much as you do, and not for the commission per se, but because if we don't, we don't get paid. So you work with people that are 100% commission, you're going to get a better experience, right? Would you say so, Chris?
Absolutely. Yeah. It definitely makes you sharpen the axe,
Right.
doing this and getting paid that way. Because if you don't, you don't grow, you don't make a living.
Right. This
Yeah.
freaking turd, man. She's just all up in our grill.
I like it.
Anyways, sorry to cut you off. So you guys have overhead, you have stuff that you have to pay. What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a loan can be complex on the back end. And so I have team members that help me make sure that we get your loan through on time. I have a transaction coordinator, that'll help make sure everything stays on schedule and goes, a processor that'll help kind of do all the detail work of the loan. And I got to pay those guys. It's their livelihood too,
Right.
to make sure that things go smoothly. So, there's those expenses too that come out of my commission as well.
Right.
We have we co-market together. We do things together. I have other co-marketing expenses with other agents as well as for myself, to market myself as well out there. All that stuff costs money. It takes money to make money.
Yeah, marketing is expensive. Getting your name out there, especially in a market where I would say our market's fairly small. So there's a lot of competition, and you got to do things to set yourself apart, and,
Right.
and working with a team and with a lender that actually understands that and, is savvy enough to be on film and savvy enough to pay for marketing and make that effort to reinvest in their business. I think that's huge. That's a big thing to look for.
Yeah. So essentially, we are entrepreneurs and I mean, we unfortunately don't get to keep all of that chunk of money, right? A good chunk of it goes back into our businesses every month, which is a good thing. And like you said, it helps us make better choices and to get better.
Yeah.
The more we do things.
My mom always says, when I was a kid, when I was leaving the house, make smart choices. And if I can relay that back to working with buyers and working with sellers, make a smart choice and work with an agent and a lender who invests in their business, are in this for the long haul. They're not just going to be a good old boy who doesn't communicate. We have systems that help us do that. We handle lots of clientele all at one time. I'm juggling 20 to 30 people, within a given day. And if I didn't have systems or a lender to help kind of pay for those, as well as co-market, then it would be really hard. It'd be hard to stay relevant in this business for sure. So like I said, I've known Chris going on at least 10 years or close to it now, right? We're getting pretty close. I think I met you when I was 19 and now I'm 29. So
10 years, man.
Man, you're old, man.
I am old. I don't look it, but I'm old.
And so I know what I enjoy about Chris. But Chris, if you had to take 50, I'm putting you on the spot. If you had to take 30 seconds to pitch yourself to anybody watching this video today, what would you say is your strong points?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to want, in this market right now with how competitive everything is, you're going to want a local lender with a good reputation, because that listing agent's going to look at your offer and going to say, hey, is this real? Is this guy local? Can he close it on time? And, I'm lucky enough to have that reputation,
right,
that we close on time, that we're going to get it done. We can, and puts you at an advantage as a buyer. And so I'm also, I guess let's just back up for a minute. Let me talk about what I think a good loan officer is.
right.
And in my mind, a good loan officer is going to do three things for you. The first thing is going to be, can they pre-approve you well? Do they know the loan guidelines well enough to know how your type of income is going to affect things, going alongside with what kind of debts are you currently carrying? And are you going to get the loan through on time? And so, I've had some very good mentors that have done this, that have taught me from the very beginning. I will pre-approve you well and make sure that your loan is solid by the time we get going.
I can attest to that. I don't think we've ever had a deal fall through.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
So
so knock on wood, we keep it going.
Yeah. We don't want that, which I can attest to all that for sure. And like you kind of hit on a point that I think is important. Work with a local lender that knows the market. We do things, we write offers that, one, are obviously heavily pre-approved by Chris. And two, I partner with lenders who have a reputable name, so that going forward, if we submit an offer that's identical to another offer, but we are working with a reputable lender who is pre-approved to the max, can vouch for the buyer, our offers are going to stand out. And that, at the end of the day, especially in this crazy market, is the hard thing. And so I think we do a pretty good job at that. And if anybody's watching this, friends, family, coworkers, whatever it may be, if you guys need a loan, Chris, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, give me a call. My number is 435-229-6615.
Cool. And you guys know me, again, it's JD over here at the Genuine Group. We're doing this Genuine Minute And yeah, Chris kind of came up with this idea. So not the filming idea, but the name of the video. So I think I kind of going to let that stick, the genuine minute, or if we go longer, we'll call it the genuine hour, I think. So I'm pretty happy with it. But if you guys have any questions, buying, selling, lending, whatever it may be, give us a ring. My number again is 435-375-4554, and we'll talk to everybody soon. See ya.